Hey, what's happening, guys? Good to see you. We're back with another video. This one is a request from Jesse. My version of chicken marsala. Chicken marsala is a lightly breaded, pounded out chicken breast with a marsala wine sauce. Sometimes it's creamy, sometimes it's not. Mine's going to be a mixture of both. And tonight I'm going to have someone help me, and that's my beautiful wife. So when we come right back, I'm going to show you how to put this thing together. It's a very easy recipe with minimal ingredients, and I guarantee you guys are going to love it. Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We're ready to get this thing started. Just to recap a little bit, we're going to make a chicken marsala with some baby portobellos, some oyster mushrooms, and a really nice velvety marsala sauce. My wife's already taken the chicken breast cutlets, pounded them out to about a ½ inch each. That's going to tenderize the chicken a little bit. We have 2 cups of AP flour. With that, we're going to mix 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of ground oregano, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to let my wife do that, get these things breaded up. While this is going on, we have our olive oil heating up to about 350. Like I said, it's a lightly breaded chicken that we're going to take off the oil, put into the oven, and finish cooking there before we put it back into the marsala sauce.
Okay, so got that mixed up.
Once you put your chicken in, be sure to press it into the flour a lot. It's a light breading, but you still want that breading present. Put it back on your resting plate and let it rest for a couple minutes before you put it into the oil.
Okay, 1 down, 3 more to go.
In the meantime, I do have my water coming to boil for when it's time to put the pasta in. We use bucatini. It's kind of like spaghetti, but a hollow center, and it stays firm and consistent and really grabs onto the sauce and doesn't just slide off like spaghetti or something like that. It's our preferred pasta. You could use fettuccine, rigatoni, you could use whatever you like. This is just our preferred pasta for this. Washing off her monster fingers. Again, if you don't have monster fingers when you're breading, you're not doing it right. Okay, so right now the oven is at 350 with a pan in there ready to receive these chicken breasts. She has breaded these up. They're ready to go. Like I said, this is not fried chicken. You just want a light breading on them before you put them in the oven. We're at the right temperature, so go ahead and put them in slowly, honey.
Alrighty. Try not to burn yourself with oil.
Probably do 2 at a time. These are going to be in here about, the first ones you're probably going to be in there about 3 minutes per side. Then after that, as soon as it regains temperature, you're going to be at about 2 minutes per side. Or just look at them. You want them golden brown on both sides. Like I said, throughout this process, they're going to go into the oven. We're going to make the marsala sauce. Right after this, I'll show you how to brown the mushrooms, add everything together. We're going to put the chicken breast back into that sauce to finish cooking. Put it on the pasta. It's going to be dynamite. So we'll be right back and show you how to finish this meal up. Okay, so we got 2 chicken breasts done. As you can see, they're really nice and golden brown. These 2 are finishing up. As they're frying in the olive oil, I like to take a tablespoon of butter, drop it right in between both of the chicken breasts. That's just going to add a little bit more depth and flavor to it. And remember, this is the same oil we're going to make the marsala sauce in. So baby, just put that butter in there. These have about 30-45 more seconds to go on each side. Then we're going to take those off, put both of these into the oven, let them rest at 350 for a little while we start preparing this sauce. The first thing we're going to do is throw the mushrooms in, brown those, then we're going to separate the mushrooms into a bowl separate. You don't want them to get too soggy, and then we'll start assembling the sauce. So.
Do you need to add the parsley?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of parsley to the top of your chicken breast It's just going to add a little bit of color and pizzazz. It's not going to add a lot of flavor, but hell, why not? I love fresh basil. Caprese salad, you name it, I just love basil. So anytime I'm making Italian food, I love to take fresh basil, crush it up, and just go ahead and add it into the oil or anything you're cooking with. It's going to add flavor, and the aroma is going to be amazing. Like I've said in previous videos, half of flavor is actually smell. The smell and taste combined are what give that flavor that everybody loves. Our water is, are we boiling over there?
We are boiling. We are ready for
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drop our bucatini. Bucatini is going to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 6 to 8 depending. But like I said, it is a rigid pasta that stays firm and almost like al dente all the way through, which that's what you want because then it's going to grab onto that sauce and not just slide off.
Okay. We're cooking all this?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's check this underside. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so these guys are ready to pull off.
That smells so good.
Oh, if you guys can smell this right now, it's ridiculous. So what you have are 4 perfectly golden brown chicken breasts that in a minute I'm going to show you how to make a great Italian dish. Let's throw these into the oven. Like I said, we just flash fried these, so these are not done yet. So they're going to continue cooking in the oven as well as in the sauce once we get it formulated. All right, put those guys in there. Okay, now for the marsala sauce itself, there's 100 different ways to do it. Like in all my videos, this is just my version. I know this is good. I know you'll like it. So if you want to follow these directions, it's going to be spot on. Using the same olive oil and butter that we used to fry the chicken up, what we've got here is a good crust on the bottom. We have the basil, the garlic, the oregano, the salt, the pepper, everything just cooking and sitting there waiting to explode in flavor. So the first thing we want to do is brown these mushrooms. I've got about 6 ounces of baby portobello and 6 ounces of oyster mushroom. You can use any mushrooms you like. These are just the ones that I enjoy. Button mushrooms work just fine. They're a sponge. They soak up anything you're going to cook. So baby's going to throw these right into the pan, right to where the chicken was, and let those saute for, about 2 to 3 minutes each. We'll pull them off, and I'll show you the next step. Second you put them in there, you're going to hear that sizzle. They're taking up that flavor immediately. At this point, there's no need to really season. You can get a little bit of salt and pepper. I always have a ramekin of salt and pepper mix around because you're going to need that for just about everything. You can sprinkle a little bit of that on there, but there's enough flavor in that base that you really don't need to. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see what's going on.
A lot of goodness.
We got the mushrooms sauteing, all the ingredients for the marsala sauce is waiting, and our chicken's in the oven. When we come back, I'll show you the rest of making this marsala sauce. We'll get those chicken breasts in there. We'll show you how to assemble the bruschetta. It's very easily done, and it's going to be a very easy, delightful dish that you can make in about 20-25 minutes. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, y'all? All right, so the mushrooms have finished sauteing. As you can see, they're a perfect golden brown. If you guys could smell this, it's absolutely ridiculous. What we're going to do is we're going to separate these mushrooms from the oil now, set them aside, and start assembling this this marsala wine sauce. The marsala sauce that I make consists of 1 cup of marsala wine, a half cup of sherry, a half cup of beef broth, 2 tablespoons of garlic, a tablespoon of shallots, salt and pepper, and you can throw some basil or oregano in there if you want. You don't really need to. And then at the end, I do put in a little cream of mushroom soup. It adds a velvetness to it, but I don't put too much. I got about 3 tablespoons. So what you're going to see right now is our pan has all the flavor from the chicken, the mushrooms, and everything else. We're going to deglaze that with the marsala wine. So babe can go ahead and put that in there. Of course, be careful. You're adding alcohol to heat, so pour it in slowly.
Okay.
Listen to that sizzle. We're going to let that reduce for 30-45 seconds. By reducing, it's also going to deglaze the bottom of the pan. It's going to bring up some of that flour and chicken, the garlic, and everything else, and just infuse into the wine itself, which is going to help incorporate the entire marsala sauce.
That smells so good.
Oh, damn
Never
right it
smelled
smells good.
marsala wine. It smells so good.
And then you can take a wooden spoon, your spatula, get some of those bits off of the bottom, turn up your heat a little bit so you're sure to deglaze the entire pan. Now it's chicken marsala, so you want the marsala wine to be the star. However, a lot of marsala recipes do not call for sherry. I like putting sherry in there because it adds a sweetness. Because there's going to be a lot of depth to this. Do not oversalt because there's going to be enough in it just from the cooking process. So we're going to let that reduce down for a few more seconds. We've got our mushrooms on standby, our chicken's in the oven ready to go. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of garlic and 1 tablespoon of shallots. You don't have to use shallots. You can use your favorite onion. They're all onions. You can use a green onion, Vidalia. You can use whatever you like. I just like shallots. They have a bite up front, but then taper off pretty quick. Whereas a red onion, you bite into it, you're going to taste the onion for the next 20 minutes. With this, you're not going to. We're going to crank up that heat at this point. Now that you put the garlic and the shallots in, go ahead. Let me test one thing.
How are these noodles, babe?
Let's check the noodles. We'll go ahead and turn the noodles off. They're al dente right now. They still need a couple minutes, but we'll let them set in that starch water and they'll continue to cook even while off. I am going to taste this sauce. Oh, that's absolutely delicious. And we haven't even put the rest of the ingredients in. What do you think, babe?
That is so good. Oh my god.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
Really good.
Okay, right now I cranked up the heat, so I have my deglazed pan with my marsala wine. I have the shallots. I have the garlic. It tastes phenomenal, and we're not even halfway done. Bring that back down once it comes to a boil. We want it to deglaze the pan, but we don't want to cook out all the ingredients and make it soft. So we took that down, shake that up a little bit. Let's throw in a little bit of parsley, a little bit of S&P. At this point, go ahead and throw in another teaspoon of butter. Butter is our friend.
There you go.
Butter is flavor. I'm telling you guys right now.
Salted butter.
Salted butter.
Salted butter.
Once that butter starts to melt, go ahead and add your sherry, your beef broth, let that reduce a little bit, and then put in your cream of mushroom soup. I don't like a pure creamy marsala sauce. I want more of a brown sauce, but I definitely love the velvet appeal that the cream of mushroom is going to bring to it. So baby just entered all of that. We're on the countdown to this thing. If you could smell this kitchen, which if you try this recipe, you're going to smell it. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're going to crank the heat back up because we want that to reduce. When we come back, I'll show you the finishing touches on this dish, and we'll also make the bruschetta and throw together a quick salad for you guys. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the smell in the house and the aroma is absolutely ridiculous. This sauce, I'm telling you what, it's a knockout. We've let it reduce down to about half. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the cream of mushroom soup, mix that in a little bit, put our mushrooms back in, and then slide our chicken breasts back into this sauce and let it cook a little bit more, and start preparing our bruschetta and our salads. So, all right, what we've got here is 3 to 4 tablespoons of cream of mushroom. I don't like too much. A lot of recipes will call for a good half cup or so. I just want the velvetness of it. I still want it to remain a nice dense sauce. Crank up that heat a little bit. Let's get up a little bit. So our pasta is ready. It's sitting on the side. Our chicken breasts are ready to come out of the onion. As soon as our cream of mushroom soup dissipates, we'll slide that back in there with the mushrooms and prepare everything else. So really this entire dish only has a handful of ingredients. It's not a hard dish. It's a classic Italian entree that you go to a restaurant, you're going to spend 15 to 20 bucks on, but it's absolutely worth it. Okay, right now it looks like our sauce is starting to dissipate. I'm going to go ahead and get these chicken breasts out of the oven. Our chicken breasts are nice and golden brown from getting them fried.
Those mushrooms ready?
The mushrooms are ready. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of garlic to this and a little bit of S&P, just for flavor. Alright, take our mushrooms, put those back into the sauce. You guys got to see this,
Yep.
and you will here in a minute because I'm going to bring it over as soon as I put that chicken in. Absolutely ridiculous.
That is beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, let's go ahead and take our chicken breasts, slide those back into the sauce. And when I say slide them into the sauce, the reason I use that terminology is you don't just want to plop them down, you don't want to drown them, because you want that crust to stay on, so you're going to let it cook on the outside of the chicken breast. You're going to baste them here in a little bit. After 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to take your spoon, pull those mushrooms up onto the chicken itself. Let me show you guys a sneak peek of this over here. This is some good stuff right here. Okay, so now we have our chicken breast. They're simmering in this sauce. They're going to finish cooking just like that. Baby, go ahead and put some of those mushrooms on top. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Looks so good.
Alright guys, now that we got that going, let's go ahead and drop that temperature, honey, to, let's go to medium low, because we just want those to simmer a little bit. Get this pan out of here. Okay, bruschetta is just a very light toasted baguette with a tomato, basil, garlic, olive oil topping on it. You can add anything you want to it, but that's all we put in it. It's going to add a fresh bite to the density of the chicken marsala itself. So what we've done is we've taken about a cup of grape tomatoes, just have them, put some fresh basil in here. I'm going to use a little bit more. African basil is my favorite. You can use sweet basil, whatever you like. And you don't have to cut basil, just rip it with your fingers. That way the smell gets on your fingers and you're enjoying it the whole way through. Go Go ahead and throw a little bit of garlic in there. A little bit of garlic. In here's just a quick Italian seasoning. You don't have to put this in, but I prefer to. It's parsley, oregano, dried basil, garlic, basically the mirepoix from Italy. So just sprinkle a little bit of that in there. A little bit of salt and pepper. Olive oil is the key. Gotta use olive oil. Olive oil has a specific taste to it, and on bread it just marries very well. Don't overdo it though, because oil can be heavy. Now me personally, I love balsamic vinegar, so I'm going to drizzle a little bit of that in here too. Not too much, maybe even just a half teaspoon. Mix that up well. You don't have to let this rest. As a matter of fact, you don't want to. The longer you let this rest, the basil will blacken, because the acid of the tomatoes is actually going to cook it in a sense. So once that's ready, set that aside. I like a clean working area. Move everything out to the side here. And I've already put my French baguette in for 8 minutes, and it's ready to cut up. Alright, so we got our baguette. We're ready to slice that guy. We got our tomatoes and everything sitting here ready to get put on this bread. It's going to be delicious. It's going to accompany this meal really well. All we have left is a little bit of salad. And all we're going to do for the salad is a mixed green salad and a homemade balsamic vinegar dressing, which only has a few ingredients. So we'll be right back and I'll show you the rest of this. Alright guys, it's that time. Time to put this thing together. Our chicken marsala is fully cooked. If you can see that, it's absolutely delectable. If you could smell it, even better. So let's go ahead and get our baguette ready. Our baguette cut, I use a French baguette. I just love the consistency of the bread. Cut it at a diagonal. For my wife, I'm going to do about three slices. She likes her bruschetta. Set those on the plate. In here again, we've got grape tomatoes, basil, Italian seasoning, a little bit of S&P, olive oil. Let's put that right on top of that bread there. Oh, it smells so good. We're going to go ahead and make a nest of the pasta. So we're going to come in here, grab a decent handful, put it on the plate, and turn it until it makes a nice bed for this chicken marsala. Come over here, get one of our chicken breasts. Place it right on top of the pasta itself. Set that aside for a second, because we're going to want to drizzle some more of this sauce on here. But I want to show you this quick, easy salad. I just have mixed greens, grapes, grape tomatoes, feta. And then I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil, Italian seasoning, and balsamic vinegar. And I'll put about a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar in there just because I like it a lot. Mix that up really well. Take the grapes and tomatoes, put it right on top. Sprinkle some feta cheese. Mix while you're pouring your dressing so the olive oil and vinegar don't separate. And drizzle your salad with your homemade balsamic dressing. Guarantee you're going to love it. Okay. Come back to your pot, get yourself a serving spoon, because you're going to want some of this sauce on here, and start ladling that over the pasta and the chicken itself. And in the end, what you got is you got my version of chicken marsala with a mixed green salad with grapes, tomatoes, feta, and a homemade balsamic. Jesse, I appreciate the request, and I look forward to seeing you guys here in the future. Enjoy.